Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of Strategic Command World War II World at War version of the game. There is also a very good war in Europe that, again, as the title sort of says, they're very long titles but very descriptive. It's just focusing on the war in Europe. This focuses on the whole world at war. Okay, so we were just looking about dealing with some of purchasing. I wanted to look here at our production queue here. So we have coming up two more armored divisions, a mechanized. There is one that will be deployed via event, as well as this one in the production queue for paratroopers. So we will have some more paratroopers coming. And we have fighters, more fighters coming. That would give us 4 fighter units. So I'm thinking of, for Germany, coming over to research. Now, I was pushing to do some diplomacy before. And diplomacy, as you can sort of see, isn't, you know, if you do 5% chance, you're spending 50 MPP. Some diplomacy, and you might be able to do, to get Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria in earlier, but they will be coming in either via event or just conditions on their own. So I was advised that some of the traditional paths are, you know, getting the traditional allies, don't bother with them. Now, as Hakan here asks, is it possible to go ahistorical in the game? Say, for example, invade Sweden in the Weserbung operation. Yes, it is. It is much more railroaded than Hearts of Iron 3 or 4. Even forgetting about the wacky alternative histories, you know, restore the Kaiser BS. And it is BS from a historically plausible. Starting in 36. Now, if you want to start in 26, or even 1930, maybe we could restore the Kaiser, but starting in 36, the Nazis are in power. So unless you're doing a whole alt history starting point, a lot of the alt history stuff in Hearts of Iron 4 is BS, in my opinion. But this, like Italy joining the war, I don't get to control that, even though I'm controlling Italy. So some of this is fairly railroaded. But you can come over here to diplomacy on Bolivia, and I can declare war now. Now, Bolivia is a landlocked country, so what would be the purpose of me declaring war on them? I could if I just wanted to. Though, if I declare war on a territory, we'll see in coming up in America, or in the Americas, it could get the U.S. into it. So you don't want to do that. But you have, and as you can also see, sort of like the Belgian Congo is a subset of Belgium kind of thing that sort of goes over to the Allies once it happens. So yeah, there are events, because this game is not functional enough to do Weserbung. I hope I'm pronouncing that relative Weserbung or whatever. I'm sure I'm bad, but you know what I'm talking about. To do that well enough from a gameplay standpoint, combination of well, mostly mechanic limitations, but also the size of the force. Seeing as how for infantry units, the smallest size is a corps. And this wasn't even a division landing up here. And most of the landings down here were sort of maybe a division or more that was landing total. But most of the action was operating like brigade-size units or more. So this is an event to get Norway. You just sort of pay for it and get it. But yeah, you can declare war on Sweden whenever you feel like. Kind of thing. So yeah, you do have some ahistorical paths, but we will be seeing there are a fair amount of railroad. So it's balanced in that way. Yes, the Czech Legion. And IKB and I were talking about that just the other day. They did have, I don't know if we quite go to armored trains, JP, on the Czech Legion. They definitely had trains with machine guns, at least from photos that I've seen. I don't know. I'm trying to picture. I know in sort of a later drawing there is some Czech legions and standing in front of an armored train. I definitely know that they took regular trains and sort of up armored them with railway ties and um, thick wood and that kind of stuff, and mounted machine guns all over them. But I don't know if they had any real proper, what we would call, armored trains of the period. But IKB could probably correct us, because IKB, if you don't know it, is a, he hasn't written any books. He may do so someday, but he is a fairly good expert on railways, generally speaking, but also on railway warfare. He is very good, much better than I am on it. I mean, I know something of railways, and I know a fair amount about railway warfare, but he knows it better than I do. Actually, IKB, I disagree with you on the earlier start date. 36 is the best start date. Black Ice tried to do a 33 start date for Hearts of Iron 3, and that was going to be sort of a pseudo-civil war going on in Germany between communists and, Nazis and whatnot. But that didn't work out well, and it was really only in 36 that you get the creation of the Luftwaffe. There is a pre-Luftwaffe force that Goering is in charge of, but it's really only in 36 that you really get the real sort of creation. Or, I mean, maybe it's 35, but it's, sort of publicly announced in 36. That's why I say there's sort of a pre-force out there before the Luftwaffe is it. You really only start getting the real buildup of German armed forces in 36. You do have the Saarland happening in 35, but the real sort of, you get, the Saarland is, retaken back a little earlier, but the main sort of occupation is in 36. There's different little things going on, but so 36 is the best date for Germany really starting its actions. If you go earlier, you start getting the Allies building up too much. You can build up Germany too much, so you really have to keep down their abilities. Italy could build up way too much if it starts too early, because it really isn't until their disasters, really, in the invasion of Ethiopia, that Italy wakes up to how bad its military is. I would say, I don't know, a good 30%. And that's just a wild-ass guess, but it's from some reading. But about 30% of the artillery pieces that Italy uses in World War II are leftover World War I guns. I don't know if you realize it. Not World War I models that kept into production. I'm saying, and they're not surplus because Italy never had enough of. Italy was still using World War guns as mainline artillery in its operations, and it was also using mountain artillery and regular infantry divisions, partially because, yes, Italy has lots of mountains, so the idea of getting, fighting either along, its northern Alpine borders, which, go from, Yugoslavia through Austria as it changed to Germany, Switzerland, and into France, but it also has lots of mountains everywhere else. So it is a tactical thing, but, and I'll get to some of the other comments in a second here. But mountain guns, just because they cost less to build, and they also cost less to feed ammunition through because it's a lighter caliber ammunition. So it's partially a useful addition to regular infantry divisions because of the rugged terrain that they were planning on fighting in, but it's also a cost-saving measure. So if you start too early and push too hard on Italy, you'll have a historically stronger Italy, and it really isn't only until this disaster. And I have a book on which I've read part of it, what's called Iron Arm, and and it is a book on the Italian armored formation and its development. And they really only start to pay attention to the idea in 40 and 41 that they need to build an armored force. Only then. Or maybe some of it's 39. I have to look again. But part of what they realize is we have to have more automobiles in Italy so that we have more gas stations in Italy to distribute gasoline around the country better to use for our armored formation. And we need, again, I'll get to the chat in a minute. And we need to have more automobiles in the country as well so that we have more refineries refining gasoline so that we can switch over to more military product to be able to afford it back and forth. So I guess this is actually before the war. So it's like, because I have to look at the dates again. And it's been a while since I read it, a couple of years, the development of it. So it's probably 38, 39, they start to realize that to really do a mechanized force, they have to do civilian developments of motorization. And so Italy is that far behind on all of this stuff. And so to really do it historically, you really sort of need to start at 36, in my opinion, because that's when things really start to change. Okay, I'll give you that. Armored train might be a bit of a stretch. Okay, yeah, I agree. Free Norway makes sense. You don't have to invade it. It's just an event. It costs a bit. You get some units. It occupies them. They're weak units. Except for the Kriegsmarine lost a big percentage of their destroyers. Yeah, but part of it is Britain will clobber you if you try to move up here, and yeah, but you sort of pay for it, so it sort of represents the cost of producing this destroyer. The Norwegian can bring you ahead in the choice, or else British might have. Yes, we'll sort of see a little bit of event referring to some of the lack of British movement. Okay, railway sleepers and true armored trains. Okay, see, as IKB says, they did have some true armored trains. I didn't know. I was guessing because I'm going from remembered seeing some photos of what were Maxim guns mounted open topped on a train. What looks to be thick railway ties as sort of, bullet stoppers kind of thing. That's what I remember, specifically identified photos of Czech trains that were set up for fighting, but IKB knows and has the book reference material. So I'm going, unless somebody's really trying to disprove him, I'm going with whatever IKB says. So he is the authority here on that. Okay, so we are still looking at what we are producing here. So we don't need to do diplomacy, really. We have, like I was saying before I distracted myself, fairly decent between these mechanized forces and the armored forces and all of these ground units, partially because we're just getting unit congestion. I don't think we need more ground units, and we have one more fighter coming, so that would be 4 fighters in the west, though we could use more of that. But I think what we want to do here is come and encourage some more research. As played with me a lot, know that production technology here, or infrastructure, is a big thing. So level of production technology research decrease cost by 5%. Okay, so that's research. But doing that early helps everything else. 5% is a nice but limited. 150 I see MPPs. Okay, we'll do that. I don't want to drain myself too much. And for Japan, I sort of, well, I already have level 1 advance fighters do we have? I know we only have one fighter unit available now. Did we put another one in production? No. But I want to look here. Naval weaponry, long-range aircraft. Yes, those are good. They're coming. These are already pre-spent. Aerial warfare. Naval warfare, infantry warfare, good. Let's see. Um, 100% under. Oh, this is referring to how effectively they're getting their MPPs, is my understanding. Because if my understanding is correct, Italy's still at peace, where Germany and Japan are at war. There is sort of a shift over once they actually come to war. This is sort of, again, talking like when we were talking back about Hearts of Iron, where they're 3 or 4. You have the shifting of the economy, which this is partially happening here, from a peacetime economy where you have budgets and things that you really have to worry about versus a full war economy. So that's what my understanding. I could be wrong. They do have a PDF. I don't know if they have a printed out manual, but they do have a PDF manual for this game that explains all of this. So if you want to take the time, either read the whole thing or look up these things if you're curious about it. I just haven't taken the time to do so. When you get the game, you can get all the stuff. It's a wargaming manual on how to play this game. So it's pretty good. They aren't leaving you in the dark if you're willing to look into it better. I think we're going to do industrial technology here for Japan. We're going to spend that. Okay, so now we're down to that. And I'm going to leave those in the pool for the future. Okay, I think we've gotten everything we're going to do profitably this turn. And again, I'm just checking my naval stuff. We did do that. Okay. The German paratroopers deploy at Hamburg. That was that one. IRA attacks Dublin's Phoenix. I would have preferred them just have that in a black and white photo to match their others. You can use the modern photograph if that's the best you have. Sure, no problem, JP. Yes, Polish Corps, first Polish Corps is formed in France. One of the Polish divisions escapes out to Britain, just for your information. Another Polish division basically escapes into Switzerland and is interned for the duration of the war in Switzerland. Okay, they were able to get some reinforcements, but at least it wasn't back up to level 10, so we'll be able to hammer that some more. Our Italian allies are informing us of a heavy cruiser moving through here. And thank you for attacking me, it helps a lot. I know I didn't attack it, I probably should have. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, it was a mistake on my part. I forgot that one. I was meant to do that. I could have eliminated it. Yeah, I make mistakes. No problem, JP. You got things to take care of, do so. Axis raiders disrupt the South African convoys. Weygand becomes French CNC and calls on France to invoke the spirit of 1789 and 1914. Yeah, they want to chop everybody's heads off? Really? What the hell's going on here? I've been praising their AI and I just see them abandoning the front. Okay, so they've lost a bunch of disrupted South African convoy. Okay, the whole of our proposed aircraft carrier Graf Zeppelin is currently waiting completion. 25 MPP. I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go no. Okay. Foreign Minister Grazioni, Commander-in-Chief of the Italian Army, we can deploy. Yeah, we want to do that. I know it's sort of dooming them. Okay, so this is our other paratrooper unit, because we got the one in Hamburg. Let's drop this one down here. Okay, so there. Now, so we're not forgetting, we're doing our Navy now. Okay. I think that's just going to be a little too close. So let's block that. You guys come down to here. Let's see about here. That may get attacked. You come out to sea down here. You come out, see down to there. You guys come all the way down to here. Block them down here. Again, I personally... Yeah, this event system is working okay. I do like the Hearts of Iron event system better. And having worked in it, I know it better. But I like it better from everything, not just because I know it better. Okay, so... but the idea of the events are very good, and I'm glad they're doing that. Okay, again, I don't worry about how... So long as I'm, you know, making relatively smart decisions, I'd rather play a cat and mouse game with them on some of this stuff than pound them every turn and having them sink my submarines and commerce raiders out there. Okay, let's jump back over to China here. Carrier airstrike. Ooh, that hit him hard. And let's hit another carrier airstrike. Hit him hard. Oop. That actually takes them out. Wow. Okay. Okay, so we got that now. You guys come up to here. You can march to there. Yeah, I think we'll do that. You come to there. Okay. That's good. Now, bomb there. No, this is Nanning. Nanking or Nanjing is over here. The former nationalist capital is over here, but Nanning is down here. Yeah, they're all similar sort of names. Okay, let's... Okay, either too far, you know, they're just bad weather, they can't operate. Okay. Oh, you were joking. Okay. Defensive artillery. And so we didn't quite bash them as hard as we thought we might. Or I thought I might, but okay. That's good. Now, here. Okay, we can get to here, so that we can get him down to here. So, he goes to here. He comes up to here. Okay. They can get down to here. I can actually get down to there. That would probably be worth it. Let's send you to there. You come down to here. You come down to there. We've got a lot of army moving that way. You guys can just come to there. You get to occupy there, and you get to occupy Harbin. You get to come up to there. Okay, so now we still have units moving to... Let's see, we need one more garrison unit, because I need to move out those 3 units, and I got 2 more that aren't sitting on useful spots. So I need one more garrison unit up north, which will be one of these guys. So, on board ship, come to here, land, march north. On board ship. Let's come down to here and get off ship. That way you will be able to eventually... I want to keep him here instead of trying to move him to either one of these spots, because I want to reinforce him next turn. Hopefully we'll be in good enough supply to do that. Okay, so I want to push ahead forward, or forward deeper. I want to garrison the back of this, so let's come here with that, and you guys get on board boats as well. There we go. That way we will be able to, as we push deeper and deeper in, we'll be able to better handle things. Hopefully. Okay. Well, yep, we have escorts. Hopefully. Shoot them. Okay, -2. Okay, -1. Very good. Okay, so that's the best attack. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that's right. Do that, and then click here and hit shift. Okay, so that's pounded him. Now we're going to take these guys from here, and they're going to bombard here. They retreated, so that tells me sort of what I'm not going to do, because this guy was going to switch with them or use them to kill this guy, and he didn't die. Damn. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, can't reinforce. Oh, you also need to get on shore too. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you're holding there. No point in really attacking over there. Okay. So we're in January 1940. And all that's nice and snowy, so we're going to stay away from invading the Low Countries. It can wait a turn to go after Copenhagen, or may just wait for the event for Norway to fire. Now we have more stuff we can do. Okay, it's going to become harder to reinforce these guys once they get to North Africa, so we're gonna, that's where I'm planning on sending them. We're gonna do that. And down here, let's see. Okay, we can't do that yet. Move you to there, and you to there. I like that a little better. Sure thing, Rick. Have a good night. Glad you showed up. Okay. Yeah, Italy 109. Get these heavy cruisers fully worked up. Reinforced, however you want to say that. Okay. Now for Germany. Purchase. I think one more fighter. Okay. Yeah. And for Italy. I mean, not Italy, Japan. Sorry. What do I want to do for Japan? I don't want to overinvest in land warfare because eventually we're going to be operating out and around in many other places. Now we will see here is Japan. A lot of these special forces are basically marine island invasion type units, so they're going to be showing up to help with all of that, hopefully well enough. And I have not played far enough into this game to know the island hopping and, you know, taking out Indonesia and whatnot, whether that's all going to be happening by events or if I've got to fight this out. We'll see. But I like these. I like maritime bombers. So we'll do naval weaponry. Yeah, naval weaponry. How much more is long-range aircraft? Yeah, I think that's good because the distance and the island. So we'll do that. And I also want some heavy artillery. So yeah, let's do that. We'll spend that. The heavy artillery may come in very handy for some of this China besieging type work that we may have in the near future. So that will be good. And well, I'm looking here. Well, that's 8. So let's. Where do we want to do? Okay, how much do we pay? 92. Let's see about advanced tanks. Can we do advanced tanks? How much is that going to cost us? 25. Yeah, I think that would be a good option. Those tanks will be a critical element of our drive west. And buy some of the stuff I should. Infantry weapons. How much is that going to cost us? 25. Okay, that'll be good. Yeah, I think this time spent is good with that. And yeah, I think it is at least mostly time to let the allies, not that there couldn't be some more tinkering on the edges. Well, let's get these guys ready to drop if we need to. Okay. Let's watch the allies have their turn at us. Okay, Chinese morale suffers from the loss of Nanning. French Indochina is alarmed by Japanese conquest of Nanning. Survivors from Nanning reform their unit in Chongqing. China's international trade is severed by the loss of Nanning. Okay, so that hopefully is crippling their MPP abilities to some degree. Not that they won't be able to do that, but keep them from just either constantly reinforcing every division or corps and army or whatnot, and keep them from building out way too many units. That was a stupid mistake. Don't know if that was, but we'll see on that one. Leaving that there is a mistake. Yeah, they moved it out via train. It's spent the MPP on it. And they're cruising up. And they're bombarding my garrison troops. We've got a real force coming. Thank you for attacking. I do appreciate it. Yeah. Now that isn't nice. Oh, thank you for attacking the garrisons and not the aircraft. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe I can cut you off now. We'll see about that. We're gonna have to shift the aircraft. Shift this garrison, I think. I don't know what the French subs are doing off the Italian coast. We're at peace. Is that just a flag waving exercise? You normally, unless it's a Sarkuf, you normally don't do a lot of that. British celebrate the capture of the Altmark in Norwegian waters. Yes, the Altmark had a bunch of British prisoners from ships. Okay, disrupt the convoys. Okay, 13, 10, and 2. Man, well, 2 is not much, but still it's nice to hurt them a bit. Okay, just so that you know, and I know I've mentioned this before, so if you've watched all this, you already know. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact divided up Poland. And if I click on this, it goes away, so I don't want to do it. It can't move the map. But, what is it? The Vistula River. Basically, the original Soviet borders were going to be further west in Poland than what they were. But the Baltic states, Estonia and Latvia were going to be in the Soviet sphere, and Lithuania was going to be in the German sphere. So there was actually plans and actual moving of the Volksdeutsch, the German folk, from Estonia and Latvia to Germany. Before and after the German or the Soviet occupation of that, there were actually 2 programs going on with that. There wasn't in Lithuania because Lithuania was originally, like it says, going to be part of the German sphere. But because Germany did push so fast and so deep into Poland, they got to the Brest-Litovsk and whatever that river there is where they sort of met the Soviets. So they readjusted that border. The big chunk of Poland stayed in the German sphere, and Germany gave up Lithuania. So we're going to say no. We're going to go with the historical path. So we're going to allow the Soviets to have it. I'm just trying to keep them sweet, keep them nice and happy with me. We'll put you here, and Garibaldi. Yep, there's a good spot, and another Italian corps. And we're going to end the episode, not the live stream, guys, but the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And I really love hearing from you. So please post questions, comments, suggestions, tips. See you next time for more historical gaming.